Darn, here we are, 3 weeks into the Obama administration. There's term and everything, all this. He's the president now. 3 weeks and I'm still bald and still overweight. I can't believe it. I thought things were going to change. I guess maybe I should give him more time, though. I've heard you have to have patience with this stuff. So maybe in the first 100 days, I'll gain some hair and lose a little weight. Rod Blagojevich, the former governor of Illinois, he was on David Letterman last night. Now, he's been making all the TV shows. Gosh, he's been on The View. He's been on Larry King. He's been everything, stressing the fact that he's innocent and truthful and all this. Keeps going on. Well, anyway, David Letterman brought it up last night that anybody that, in his experience, anybody that keeps saying how honest he is and how truthful he is, he probably isn't. Or how innocent he is, how innocent he is, how innocent he is, he probably isn't. And when I started thinking about how anybody talks about how honest they are and how truthful they are, and they probably aren't, which I do believe that, who do you think of first? Who do you think of who constantly is talking about how honest he is and how truthful he is? My number one pick is Rush Limbaugh. Has anybody ever screamed how honest he is more than him and how truthful he is? Doctor of truth, he says, stuff like that. I've always thought that. I used to have a radio talk show right after his, and so I'd hear him right when he was first starting, and I caught that immediately. I was always suspectful of it. Had a weird thing happen the other night. I don't know if you've ever been stopped by the police, and worried about, when you're worried about having too much to drink or something, but I have, and I've luckily always passed it. Let's knock on wood here. I've had to blow in the breathalyzer and all that, but I've always made it, fortunately, knock on wood. Well, anyway, have you ever stopped a policeman, though? Well, the other night I did. The other night I was leaving AJ's sports bar, last guy out, and anyway, there was a policeman right behind me, and he didn't have his lights or anything. He wasn't trying to stop me, but he was just right behind me, and I just had the feeling, he was waiting for me to do something wrong. So I stopped my car. I stopped my car and went around and went back to talk to him. He rolled down his window and asked me, what I wanted, and I just told him, I said, hey, I don't think there's any way I can pass a breathalyzer test. And he said, what's that? And I said, I don't think there's any way I can pass a breathalyzer test. And he said, well, I saw you driving up and down this street and that street and going into this alley here. And I said, no, that wasn't me. I was over here at AJ's. He said, yes, it was. He said, I've got this all on video, and if your license tag matches what I have on video, you're in a lot of trouble. So anyway, I went back to my car and tried to call AJ's to come and tell him, that, because I was just about, not even a half a block away, that wasn't me. Well, anyway, he comes back and says, are you calling somebody to come and get you? And I said, well, I was trying to call them to tell them that I wasn't here. And he said, well, can you call somebody to come and get you? So I tried to call AJ's. I knew they'd take me home. He said, after all, you said you were inebriated. I said, no, I didn't say I was inebriated. I said I didn't think I could pass a breathalyzer test. Well, anyway, so I called AJ's, and of course they had the recording on then. Ours are such and such, such and such. So anyway, he good guy. Gosh, this was a real professional guy. And I think that probably he was after somebody else. Fortunately, they had those, he was after some other guy in a car like mine. But, fortunately, they had that videotape in there. Like, he thought he was after somebody else, but the license tag numbers didn't jive, so I was free from that, but I was still concerned about the passing the breathalyzer test. Well, he wasn't concerned about that. He parked my car for me and told me to walk, and I said I was just live half a block away. So he said, walk on home. Real good guy. But I'm just stressing, I think that's probably the first time, and his first time. I talked to other policemen afterwards, and they said, well, that's got to be the first time that anybody has stopped a policeman to go tell them that they thought they couldn't pass a breathalyzer test. As I was walking home, I started thinking, well, maybe I could. My bill was $12, so $3 a beer, that'd probably be about 4 beers. I probably could have passed it, but you know how paranoid you get and that kind of stuff. But that's the first time I've ever done that, and first time I've ever stopped a policeman. But I don't know. You might try it. I'm not going to do that again. In fact, I just decided I'm better off just drinking Cokes and coffee but I like to go to sports bars because I like to watch all the sports, you know. So I'm going to continue that. I'm just not going to drink any beer until I get home. Didn't feel lucky about it, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you saw this is in the New York Times. Picked this up about Bryce and Arthur Brown. New York Times, they made that pretty controversial. You can go on the internet and get the New York Times. And until then, I'll see you next week.